All right, all right, all right. Just putting my picture up here. All right, everybody. Welcome to Transparent Tuesday. Super excited to be here as usual. If you haven't already ever been to a Transparent Tuesday talk, then you are in for a great surprise. I'm here with some amazing ladies who are not only faith driven. Hey guys on Instagram, hello. Who are not only faith driven but also boss women at the same time, okay? These women are bosses in the area of faith, business, and anything else really. These women have your back. So, welcome to Transparent Tuesday. As you guys can see, the topic today is clarity. And we want to know, like, is your picture clear, or is things just a little bit cloudy? Like, are things cloudy for you? And if they are, please do not think that you are alone in this. Please don't think that you're the only person who may lack a little bit of clarity. Your vision may be just a little bit blurry. Please don't ever think that you are in this alone. Also, for everybody on Instagram, if you have any questions that pop up while we are all speaking, please do not hesitate to put them in the questions. I think you just have to press the little question mark at the bottom of your screen, and you can ask questions. And so before we get into this topic, I just want to introduce myself, and I want the rest of the ladies on the panel to introduce themselves as well. And so, if you have no idea who I am, my name is VictoriaGrace. I am a faith mentor and service-based business strategist, coach, expert, consultant, and I just love helping women to become the successful servant leader and the wealth builder that God has called them to be, whether it be in their life or their business. And so that is who I am. Taj, why don't you let us know who you are?
I am Taj Burrows. I am an occupational therapist by trade. I am the owner of Access Wellness, which is a community-based mental health outpatient program, providing support services, assessment evaluation to individuals in need. And you can find me on Access Wellness on both Facebook and IG, accesswellness.com, to check out the website. And I'm looking forward to this chat that we're about to have.
Awesome. Miss Jonelle?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonelle. I am an entrepreneur and content creator for The Pink Plug. You can follow me on The Pink Plug _ on Instagram and thepinkplug.com for my website. I help women plug into the boss within themselves, whether it's through your life or your business. So definitely check me out. I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Sandra?
Hello. I am Cassandra, owner of Black Lux, a lifestyle brand celebrating people's creative personality with creative casual apparel. And I'm definitely looking forward to the conversation tonight about clarity.
Awesome. And Maisha just got here, so let me add her up to the stage. All right. Can you let us know who you are, Miss Maisha?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? My name is Maisha Robinson. I am a business consultant, and I'm also a servant leader as well. I love the Lord, so I'm going to spread the word, and I'm going to help you get your business where it needs to be.
Period. And that's just that. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. Like I said at the beginning, we are super excited, of course, to get into today's topic of clarity. Is your picture clear, or is it a little cloudy? And so y'all already know I'm coming through with a couple scriptures real quick just to start us off, and then a few definitions here. But I really want to get into this question, and then I want to hear you guys' answers. And also, if you just joined me on Instagram, if you've joined Cassandra's Instagram, please do not hesitate to ask questions in the comments or in the question box on Instagram, because we would love to answer your questions, okay? So first things first, what is clarity? And clarity in the respect to today's topic, it is the quality of transparency or purity. I want you to think of transparency as if you were at the ocean. I'm a person who loves the ocean. I was just on the beach the other day, and when you're at a real ocean, not a man-made ocean, you can see right through the water. You can see the sand at the bottom, and it was crystal clear. There was no dirt, there were no smudges, there was no blurriness at all. That is what we're talking about when it comes to clarity. And I just want to just reiterate this one more time, that it's okay if you feel like things are a little bit fuzzy. It's okay if you feel like you just don't know everything 100% of the time. Just for an example, I'm sure a lot of you may have seen the reel or the meme that has been going around where it's like, one day I feel like I just got it all together and I know exactly what I'm doing, and then the next day I'm like, well, did that even make sense? Or do I even really know what I'm doing, or what's going on here? I think that it is a valid feeling. I think that it is something that we all go through, and I just want you guys to know and understand that it's okay to not be completely clear all of the time. But today we are going to give tools to help us to get to the point to where clarity is not something that we are just allowing, or we lack so much clarity that we're just walking in chaos and confusion. Something that I just really live by is that a lack of clarity creates chaos and confusion. And I have decided that I no longer want to live my life in those areas. And so, scripture. It says in James 1:5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God. So simply, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given unto him. And then Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a hope and a future. And so I go to these two scriptures because it's very simple here. Jeremiah 29:11 says that even if you feel like you don't know, God already has the plans for you that are not for evil, but for good and for greatness. And then if we go to James 1:5, if you lack wisdom, which a lack of wisdom usually is a lack of clarity. You're just not sure. You're not clear on what's going on. All you have to do is really ask God. So I want to put that out there just so that everybody knows. And now, ladies, I want to also ask you, do you have any scriptures that you want to share today? And if not, we can get right into the question.
No, I don't.
Okay. So the question is, how has a lack of clarity derailed your purposeful journey or your purpose journey? And what did you do to, or what have you done to get back on track?
I'll start with the answer. So when I initially set about to create Access Wellness, it was one of those things I knew what I wanted to do, right? Worked in different spaces that didn't work for me, and knew that there were better systems that could have been put in place to work and be beneficial to the patient population served. But not having the blueprint to do that, it was difficult. Therefore, trying to set out to do it, I got a little overwhelmed, right? You see other people, you tell people, and this is where I went wrong. I started to tell people what I wanted to do, and everybody had an idea about how to do it best, right? So you have all this input from people that have never done it. And then you just sit there, right? So I took a moment to really start to reflect, journal, and pray. And in those quiet moments, it sort of came to me that, one, I'm human. Two, I can only do but so much, so I have to take it in baby steps. And most importantly, three, Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's going to take some time. So once I accepted that those three things, I was able to sort of progress forward. I worked with a business consultant who grew to be a very, very close friend, and has and still is sort of in my ear and sort of helping me along. And then even when I get frustrated and hit different various pitfalls, I pray even harder. I think what continues to sort of keep me focused and on track is my prayer life and having that one person I can and solely rely on. And then most naturally meeting you ladies and continuing the journey together and bouncing ideas off of you all at different times. So those things for me were the things that sort of kept me and has maintained me.
That's really good. I definitely can relate. There's been many times on this journey of being an entrepreneur. And I just want people to know that what we're talking about doesn't even, it relates, of course, to entrepreneurship, but even if you're not in that space right now, maybe that's something you want in the future. But maybe you're just not there right now, or maybe that's not your desire. I've definitely had a lack of clarity on my entrepreneurship journey, but as well as being a wife, being a mother, trying to handle, relationships within the family, as well as still trying to grow and to become my own woman, being that pioneer, being that first generation, everything, just little things, can definitely be daunting. It can definitely put pressure on you, and the enemy would love to get into your head. I'm speaking to myself. The enemy loved and loves to still try to get into my head to make me think that I don't have the path, that God hasn't, given me what I need, or I don't have everything that I need to keep pushing forward. And I think that it's important for us to identify and just be able to know that these are plans and tricks of the enemy. I like that you said, Taj, that when you started your business, you didn't have like that clear plan. And I think that that's okay. I think that when people start a new job, say you just graduated and you just got into a new job, you may not have a clear pathway or a clear plan on what to do or how to do what it is that you're doing, or how to even navigate, maybe as the youngest person there, or maybe as the only person of color there, or maybe as somebody that may be super young but everybody know you getting paid the most. People are going to try to come for you every which way, and I think that first things first, you got to know that it's okay to not have everything. It's okay to not have all your ducks in a row. It's okay. But the point here is that you actually get it to a point to where your ducks are in a row. And the first thing for me, like Taj said, is that prayer life. And for me, since I have a baby, I had to really, really start to command my mornings. I had to start to win my mornings, and because that was the only time that I had to really sit down and not only talk to God, but also have a little bit of time to myself. Also have a little bit of time to just be like, okay, Victoria, what do you want to accomplish today? What do you want to do today? What is the plan for today? What's the plan for this week? What is your goal for this quarter? What are you going to do to try to figure these things out? And so also, like Taj said, when it came to business as well, when it was certain things where I'm like, well, I want to get to this many followers, or I want to get to this much money per month, I needed to figure out how to get there. And if I didn't know, I was like, okay, God, I need you to send somebody to me. I need you to help me. I need you to tell me what it is that you want me to do. And a lot of times I think God will speak to us in ways that we probably don't want him to speak to us. For instance, getting a coach or a mentor. I have had a couple coaches who have helped me a lot to really get my business model in order and in the way that it's supposed to be. And it costs money. And I was like, dang, God, okay, you want me to spend money over here? Or is it just my flesh because I really want to, this person's value or deliverables sound so great? Which one is it? Because at the time I didn't have the money. So I'm like, well, God, I'm trying to really figure this out. What do you want me to do? And sometimes he will give us that thing, right? He'll smack us in the face with it. And sometimes we don't want to accept it or we don't want to do that thing. And I think that it's so important to just really have that time where you are able to spend time with God. And that's where you're going to get the clarity that you're looking for concerning what he wants you to do in your business, or if he wants you to invest or not to invest in a coach or a mentor, or if he wants you to go back to school to get that degree, or whatever the case is. And so love getting that prayer life in order. That would be number one for me. Anybody else, ladies? On the question?
So I'll go. I think for me, like you guys said, the prayer life is definitely key. And also being consistent with that prayer life and not letting it be no matter the, whatever you're going through. That was for me. And then also just, I think consistency is key throughout everything, whether it's business or life. Like having a routine, writing things down just so you can see it. So I'm a visual person, so I have to see it. I will have Post-it notes places or, just a notebook just for whatever it is that I need it to be for. What else? And that's really it. Like prayer life, being consistent and writing things down. I think for me, I hold a lot in. And once I write it out in my notebook, it just like it's released in a way. Like it's therapeutic for me, but I also have it to go back to if I need it in the future. So that's mine.
And I think for myself, it's adding on to the prayer and the writing it down. Meditation is like key for me. Taking the time where I can like get that clarity, like I got the space to realize that, hey, I'm feeling like I'm not getting that clear picture. I'm feeling out of sync. So I a lot of time would like do some meditation along with the prayer to like get my mind either refocused or kind of like giving more ideas of what I want to do, as each of us has said, personally or professionally with being an entrepreneur. And another thing I also like to do is sometimes just taking time to exercise. Exercise helps clear, your mind, helps you with the clarity of just getting that in. So I would take like 15-20 minutes of my day and just do some exercising just to help me get motivated again and just give my mind the space that I needed to at that time.
I think everyone pretty much are on the same page as far as the prayer. And I'm so happy that Cassandra mentioned exercising, because for me, movement is really, really important. And that's why if you see any of my videos, you'll see me dancing, because I love to move around. I think it's important to move your body because it not only relaxes you, but it also gives you a chance to kind of release any tension and stress that you may be having. And that can also cloud your judgment. That can cloud your mind when you are seeking any type of clarity. But for me, it's a combination of definitely in my mornings, making sure I do pray, making sure I do meditate, and making sure that I have movement in my day has been a plus for me throughout my life.
Yeah, ladies, that was so good. God just kind of revealed to me, like, you need to work out more. Like, you need to exercise. Even if you just stretch, do a little something, 10 minutes a day, that's what you need to do. Because I kind of got on this where I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something every day. I'm going to do some movement. I'm going to do something every single day. And I was doing it. But then I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And I definitely could tell a difference.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, because your girl need to work out.
Yes. And I just was like, wow. When I was working out for them good, like 2 weeks every day, I felt so good. And then I stopped. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh. Not only am I like sluggish, but also I can just tell a difference in my mental as well. And so even if I don't do anything, now that I'm back home, I make sure that me and my son, we go for a walk every single day, whether it be early in the morning or before we go to bed at night. But we go for a walk and just some form of activity. And so I'm so happy that you mentioned that. That is just so important. And I think not only for our mental well-being, but for our physical well-being as well. It doesn't matter how old you are, but we're growing older every single day. And so a lack of movement or activity is probably going to cause a lack of movement, activity, evolvement of our brain as well. And so I feel like the whole body is connected, so we got to think of it as such.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually a whole thing called like movement therapy that people actually go through to help with healing as well. And I've actually met a Black woman that does it. She's a part of Girl Trek. I don't know if you heard of that organization, but it's a Black-owned organization that pretty much specializes in getting women to move. And their main point is to walk like Harriet Tubman did. Wow. So y'all check that out, Girl Trek.
Wow, I had never heard of that before. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Okay, so I want to go into, what do you guys think creates confusion? Because I think that sometimes people just don't know what creates that confusion or that lack of clarity in their life. I actually did a training on this back in 2019. It's crazy because I'm looking at it right now and everything still is very much so valid. And so I want to see what you guys think creates confusion, and maybe somebody else may not even realize that that thing has created confusion in their life. And so maybe we can give people some tips on identifying what's creating that confusion and lack of clarity for them.
For me, I think it's disorganization.
Yes.
So if I apply the question or if I apply disorganization to like my daily schedule and I'm off schedule, my whole day just seems like it's upside down, right? And at that point, it's pretty difficult for me to rebound, right? All I can do is just reset, plan, and try again the following day. In my mind, because that's huge, right? When we're talking about clarity, I think a large part for me personally happens when I am listening to other people, if that makes sense. So let's just say I'm setting out to do something and someone may have an opinion about what I'm doing, right? Because everybody has an opinion about what you're doing on your journey. So someone gives me an opinion and that tends to sort of play in my head along with what I'm trying to do. And then it forces the self-doubt from time to time, or not even self-doubt, just questioning what I'm doing. So that for me are the things that sort of cause the confusion.
That was really good. Anybody else before I go?
I'll go. So I definitely would like to piggyback off of what was the word she just said? Now, what'd you say, Cassandra?
She said disorganization.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. It was disorganization and then clutter. So if you have clutter in your daily life, whether it's in your home or in your brain, it could definitely cause mass confusion and can throw you off. I know that if places are cluttered, how are you going to find anything? How are you going to figure out what you need to do and where you need to move next? So I think having clutter in your life, your office, your room, having mass confusion with people who are not aligned with your purpose, all this mass confusion will definitely cause for you to not have any clarity, and it could hold you back. So I think once you declutter, it'll help you a lot.
That was good. That was really good. Anybody else? Okay, so I love that Taj said disorganization and Jonelle said clutter. Like I said, I had did this training in 2019, and I have both of those on the list, of course. However, one thing I really, really want to mention, especially for, like I said, all of these things apply to whether you are an entrepreneur or you are a mom, you are a, career woman with a 9-to-5, you take care of your family, whatever the case is, your wife, whatever it is. I feel like this applies to everybody, anybody who is accepting that call to become successful servant leader in whatever area they're called to be. But the one thing is open loops. And if you've never heard of open loops, it is a phenomena in psychology. And it is a tendency of our brain to remember and focus on incomplete tasks more than it does on complete tasks. So, yes, disorganization, of course. Disorganization, clutter. No, believe it or not, complaining, believe it or not, just having an idle mind, not commanding and winning your day, waking up at the last possible moment when you're supposed to be going somewhere, or waiting to the last possible moment, just a disconnection from reality and life, a disconnection from God, excessive amounts of caffeine, poor choices of who you spend your time with or who you allow to speak life into you. All of these things create confusion. But I think one thing, especially those of us who have a lot on our plate, is open loops. And like I said, open loops is just a tendency of our brain to remember and focus on incomplete tasks more than it does on completed tasks. And so to really get through those open loops and to just really close them, because that's the point, close the open loops, is we have to get to how we talked about a few weeks ago, with actually getting things done throughout our day. So if you said you was doing this top 3 things for today, get that done. And the next day, if you haven't finished one thing, finish that before you start the next thing. Because our brain mine for sure, I don't know if anybody else can relate, but my brain definitely has a tendency to where if I move on to something different without completing something, I'm going to continue thinking about that thing I got to complete, especially if it's important, especially if I know for a fact like this needs to get done, or if maybe I don't necessarily want to do it, but I know that it's something that I've committed to, or whatever the case is. That revelation for me, when like I said, I did this in 2019, that was huge for me because I'm a huge multitasker. I love to multitask. Multitasking a lot of times does not create clarity, especially when you are a person who is not only multitasking, but you're trying to make things so perfect and get things done in such a way that is also allowing you to procrastinate instead of be perfect or to actually get that thing out. It's all of these different things meshed into one, but close those open loops. That would be my biggest tip of the night, is to close those open loops. And you close those loops by either telling yourself this task is what it is and this is what it's going to be and I'm not going to continue thinking about it, or you actually complete that task. I know that I have also been a person where sometimes I start doing something and then I'll see something else and I got to start doing that. And then I'll see something else and I got to start doing that. I have actually had to literally be intentional about, no, you need to finish what you're working on right now and then move to the next thing. Then check that off the box. Then go to the next thing. Like literally writing everything down and checking things off one by one. And so that would be my biggest tip, is to close those open loops.
Victoria, when you said about the list and stuff, I'm the same way of multitasking. But what I do is, if I know it's a big task in one of those items that I do, I'm big about the 3. I got it down to like 3 tasks a day. But what I also do is, if I know I can't finish it, I am going to try to work on it. But I'm also going to give myself a close date on it. And that has helped me with closing those loops of setting the timetable of completing whatever task I have set. Because like you said, when you don't, if you don't complete it, it's still going on your mind. But I think setting the timetable, setting the deadline of when you're going to complete it, and forcing yourself to do that, it helps closing those loops.
That is so good. I love that. I'm definitely going to start implementing that. Like, you need to be done with this by this date, Victoria, period. Like, that's what you have to do. I love that. Did anybody else want to add anything tonight? Well, if nobody else has anything they want to add tonight, I think that we dropped some amazing, amazing gems, ladies. I think that it's very important for everybody on Instagram, everybody here on Clubhouse, to really be able to identify, do you have a crystal clear picture, or are you walking around doing life, doing business, just living in general with a cloudy mind? And so if you came in late on this talk, go back to the recording. It will be posted to my Instagram at Iamvictoriagrace, and you can definitely watch this live. You want to definitely listen to this, and make sure that you share this with somebody else who you know may just need to get into the habits of clarifying things instead of just being like, I don't know, all the time, or just being in a space of confusion, because a lack of clarity really does create chaos and confusion. And if you've been with us for the last few episodes of Transparent Tuesday, then you know that we've talked about really getting rid of that cycle of chaos, that just wants to continue coming into our lives and just making things a wreck, an absolute wreck. And so I think that's all we have for tonight. I decided like last week that I would put that training that I was talking about. So it was just God that we even did this particular topic today, but I put the training back at the link in my bio. And if you want to learn or know how to unveil your purpose and go from complacent and doubtful to bold and confident, you can click that link in my bio where it says work with me, and you'll see where it says freebies, and get the free training, y'all. So you can go from confusion to clarity. So that you can go from complacent to bold. Okay. And ladies, if you have anything else you want to add, please go ahead and add that. Go ahead and add.
I think you summed it up, and you gave the energy that was supposed to have been given.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that's about it. Like I said, the work does not stop here. For all of you guys on Instagram, you can see in the picture all of our @ names. Click those links in our bios. There are resources there for you. The work does not stop here. Transparent Tuesdays is only twice a month. The work does not stop here. Click those links in our bios. Check out our freebies. Check out what we have to offer. Check out our paid solutions. Check out everything that we have. And we will see you guys in the next episode of Transparent Tuesday. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.